Good morning and welcome to the Community Review. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. We are kicking off Black History Month with an amazing profile of life and success. VIP Records. Oh, the legacy goes back far and deep and is so ingrained in the community of music, in the community of Long Beach, in the history of Southern California. With us on the phone, Pops is what they call him in the community, Kelvin Anderson Sr. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, it is so good to have you here, Pops. Can I call you Pops?
Oh, sure you can.
Since everybody else in the community does. You know, Kelvin, I was so just thrilled for you when the VIP sign, which has been in movies and on people's video shoots, and tourists come by to, stand in front and take their picture in front of the VIP sign because it's world known. When it was made a historic landmark, what an amazing event that must have been for you, with the VIP sign being only probably one out of two, I think, landmarks that were designated African American with an African American history in Long Beach. So what was that like for you when that happened?
Well, you know what? That was a very big moment in my life, in the life of my family. Even, my brother Cletus Anderson, the founder of VIP Records, and actually the one who redesigned the sign back in 1978 to represent music. I was honored to have him out here. We flew him out from Mississippi to take part in the designation, and it was a great moment in, like I say, in my life, and the fact that to most people here locally and around the world, the sign was already a historic landmark to them.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody knows VIP, and if they don't, they will after this interview.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about it. The sign itself, the VIP sign, is now a historic landmark. What does that mean when something has been designated an historic landmark?
Well, for me, and because of, once we started the process, I got a chance to look kind of, more into what that means and what that's all about. And the fact that when I found out that in Long Beach, it is the second Black historic landmark, or Black affiliate historic landmark. The only other one in the city of Long Beach is Ernest McBride, his house. And
house, he had something to do with the NAACP, correct?
He started the Black chapter of the NAACP for many years. One of the achievements that he made, and like I said, his house now is a historic landmark. And but the sad part about it, the house is no longer Black owned. So the world famous VIP record sign is the only Black owned historic landmark in the city that's actually owned by someone that's still living.
Wow. So that must make you feel amazing. Now, what was that process like to have the sign designated as a landmark? I mean, how does something like that happen?
Well, what had happened was, and I have to give you a little history on what has happened in the past few years. Actually, in December 2015, I had made a decision to close the store, and I was just going to probably do a little business online because the physical sale business has struggled so much over the years. I just kind of got a little frustrated. So I've always knew that if I left the location, I could not leave the sign, because I couldn't take the chance of the sign becoming a beauty shop sign, a smoke shop.
Right.
I always had those fears. So, and then it's like, man, what can I do with the sign? So I made the decision to put the sign for sale on eBay, and that hit the local news, and everyone was like, "Oh no, we don't. You can't sell the sign."
That's
so
part
I
of
was
Long Beach.
by my councilman, and he had asked me. He said he was sent by the city, and he wanted to know if I would have a problem with the city owning this sign. So I told him, well, no, I wouldn't. I said, but the sign definitely has a monetary value to me, and I would be willing to, talked with them regarding that. So he said, well, what we need you to do, we would like to know if you would take it off of eBay to get a city council time to meet to discuss the possibility of buying this sign. So I thought about it a little bit, and so I agreed. So I actually took the sign off of eBay for sale. And so as time went on, I would reach out to him and ask, had it hit the agenda. He would always tell me that he would get back to me. So I felt like something suspicious was going on. So what I did was another unit in the center came available. So I actually downsized to another building in the same center, so I would definitely be close to the sign until I figure out what was all going on. And I came to find out that the council office had met with the property owner here and encouraged him to put in an application to make the sign a historic landmark.
Well, wait a minute. How could somebody else make it a landmark?
Year without my knowledge.
That doesn't even make any sense. How could somebody else claim it was their historic landmark when you are VIP Records? It's not just the sign.
Yeah, well, that's true. And it was really something because when we found out about what was going on, and, of course, through media protests to news articles to phone calls, we were brought into the city, and we met with city representatives, and they was actually telling us that, that the owner of the property, said that the sign is attached to the property, and the owner of the property owns the building, so therefore he owns the sign. So, my argument was, did they do their own research to verify that? And they said that they was, satisfied that the owner of the property owns the sign. So, but we were able to get all of that straightened out.
Right.
We went to city council meeting, and I, told them about the history of the sign and how long I'd been here. Actually, the owner of the building has only been the owner since 2007. I've been here since 1978. So he actually never admitted to me that he actually told them that he owned the sign. He said he was encouraged to fill out the application to have the sign designated a historic landmark. So it took some doing, but we did get past that, get all that taken care of. And but the mayor gave me the pros and cons of the sign being a historic landmark, and he had spoke to me about the opportunities that could be available to us by the sign being historic. So, and he said that the city would work with me to restore the sign and also assist me in finding a new home for the sign. So that sounded like definitely a workable situation for me. So that's the process that we took.
Wow, well, I'm so glad to hear that all the political shenanigans got worked out and that VIP has remained in the hands of the people who actually made it what it is. It would have been a shame for it to be anywhere else. And I know Mayor Garcia actually is a big fan of hip-hop. And let's wind back the hands of time a little bit. Back to the 90s, there's some artists who actually kind of, I would say, part of their history is with VIP. We're talking Snoop and Warren G and Nate Dogg. And because of the tumultuous times in the community back in the 90s, you made a decision that actually affected their careers. Tell me about that.
Well, yes. I, in the early 90s, after seeing the success of NWA and Easy and those guys in Compton, and the next big West Coast movement was Too Short and E40 and the guys in the Bay Area, gang violence was at its highest that I can remember during that time. It was a lot of gang killings on a regular basis. I can remember a 6-week period where every Monday morning that I would come to work, if it was a mortuary in the back of this center, and I would see someone, back there that was dead for 6 weeks straight. And and it was all revenge killing from, involving in local gangs. And I just like, man, this is like the streets of, just too rough, very dangerous. And I said, man, I think if I could open a studio, I could create a safe environment for kids to come and hang out and work on, skills of becoming a rapper, a DJ, a producer, a singer, a dancer. I was introduced to a young man, Sir Jinx, and Sir Jinx is actually a cousin of Dr. Dre, and took me to Dre's house and showed me some equipment, and he said, this is all you would need to start a recording studio. So we actually left Dre's house and went to the Guitar Center, and I spent $2,500 on some equipment that we came back and set up a makeshift studio in the back of VIP Records, and that's where it all started. And the second group that we worked with was a group called 213 that consists of Snoop, Warren, and Nate Dogg. And we created a demo tape that actually I shopped all around the industry with no success. I was very shocked about that. But at the end, Warren did take the tape and played it at a bachelor party that his half-brother, Dr. Dre, was having, and he was so impressed with what he heard till the next night he had Snoop in the studio with him, and at that time he was working on the soundtrack to the Deep Cover movie, which Snoop was on the featured track on the soundtrack, which led to the launching of his career, and it just went on from that point for him.
Wow. That must have been so amazing when you look back at the history of VIP and your involvement in it, to know that, you looked around, you saw the community, the strife in the community, and you said, you know what, I'm going to do my part. You start this studio, and in your studio is this young Snoop and Warren G and Nate making this, this demo. And that demo led to the hands of Dr. Dre, and then led to the launching of their careers. So VIP has a deep history in the music industry. What are some of your fondest memories of the record store and the studio back from the 90s?
Well, I mean, VIP was probably, and at that time, it was around 14 different locations of VIP Records in around L.A. County. And we were always known for having the best selection of music, the most knowledgeable, and very community-oriented, and, cared a lot about our community. So when I came here in 1978, it was a labor of love, and definitely that was before the rap music started. But, it was like, we was real big in gospel, jazz, blues, R&B, reggae. And, definitely when the launching of rap music came around, we definitely played a major role, as many other independent retail record stores did around, the country on launching rap and hip-hop music.
So how have you seen the industry change today? And do you think this onslaught of everybody thinks they're a star because they're up on the internet is a good thing or a bad thing for music? Because there's some great stuff up there, but there's some awful stuff up there too.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen so many changes since actually I worked in the industry 7 years before I became a music store owner. And sometimes I really think about how back in the 70s, to me, it was always about the entertainment competition, the competition for the entertainment market. And back in the 70s, our competition was the movies, radio, the nightclub. And so you either did that or you stayed at home and listened to your own music. So, but then after that, the VHS movement, that took a hit on retail sales. And the biggest thing back then that took a hit on retail sales was games, Nintendo. And, instead of coming in and buying a record, People wanted to buy the games and stuff. So we took a hit. So every time there was a new format that people would invest in for entertainment, retail sales would take a hit. And, it all came to a head in 2003 when the music industry actually crashed, even though there were signs of it prior to that, because, the ability to download music from the internet had already took place. And, it was a shock throughout the industry that you could be working on an album and it can get leaked to the internet and everybody got it before you actually master it. So that kind of destroyed the direction of the business. And then in 2003, when major labels started using social media to market and promote their music and no longer was spending marketing money with retail stores, especially the chain stores, that was the kind of the nail in the coffin for many stores' survival, and that's when the big crash took place.
Now, you've actually moved the sign, or at least the sign is down for now, even though it is a historic landmark. So what is the future of the VIP sign, and what do you want to do with this sign? And when will it be up? People miss this sign. They want to come and stand next to it and take their picture. And when they go back home to, Denmark or Europe or, South America or anywhere, people come from around the world to stand next to that VIP sign and take that picture. When's it going to be back up, and what's the future for it?
Well, so that is so true, because since it came down, I spend most of the day explaining to people, what happened, what's going on, will it come back here? And unfortunately, the sign had to come down anyway to be restored, and we had hoped to bringing it back here, because we spent months trying to regain the original building that all of this history took place in, so I could bring the sign back there. But the owner of the property had signed a 30-year lease with 7-Eleven for that particular building.
Oh, boy.
And, we fought, very hard, and actually got 7-Eleven to agree in letting us have the building back. But we were unable to get the support of the city that we needed to secure a long-term lease for that building.
Uh-huh.
So we kind of lost that opportunity. Even though we had worked out actually another situation with 7-Eleven to support our programs moving forward. And our councilman actually supported 7-Eleven moving into the building versus supporting us. And so that was kind of the nail in the coffin as far as us being able to regain the original building to bring the sign back too. So right now, with the city's help, we are looking for a new home for the world-famous VIP record sign, and hopefully it would be the world-famous VIP Records Black Music Museum. My first choice for this sign is for it to anchor a Black Music Museum that will feature and honor Black music for many years.
That would be so amazing. Oh, my gosh, that would just be beautiful. So I'm going to keep that prayer out there for you, that happens for you. And, of course, as things move along, know that you got a home right here on the Community Review to talk about that and, keep the community updated, because, around the world, people love hip-hop. They love the whole concept of VIP and all of the stars and people who got their start there in that studio in the back and have since come through, and the videos that have been shot. I know all the pictures that I've seen of people from around the world in front of that VIP sign. It is now a landmark, and it's such an important thing to preserve things like this. So anything that we can do to help, know that we're here for you. National Historic Landmark, the VIP sign. And my backyard faces the 405. So if you want to put that sign up till you find a home, you can put it up in my backyard.
Oh, yeah. We've gotten a lot of calls that, from different people that, that said that they would love to have the VIP record sign in their community. So, we definitely be getting those calls also.
I'll bet. Well, you know what? I know that you will find a home, and wherever that home is, I know it's going to be the right home. And I hope that it's a
Right.
sign over a museum so that this, all of the people, West Coast music has just been so powerful and so impactful on the industry. And you, Kelvin, and VIP Records have done so much to support and promote and really be the catalyst and the foundation of West Coast music. So thank you so much for that. And what an incredible profile of life and success you are to have come all this way to end up with a national historic landmark with the VIP sign. Congratulations. Now, is there a website where people can go for more information and VIP merchandise?
Oh, yes, definitely. It's shopviprecords.com is the website. And also, I'd like to add, we're in the process of opening up a 5,000 square feet multimedia center and business incubator here in Long Beach on Long Beach Boulevard, not far from here. And what we will have there is, we're going to launch our own radio station. We're going to have a recording studio there and a multimedia center to help work with the kids in the community to, further their careers, educate them on, new technology, and just bring positive, attitude with the young people in the community and surrounding communities. So we plan to have that open within the next 3 months. So that will be the first project that we want to get up and running. And we have a lot of other things that's in store that you can look out for from VIP Records. We actually plan to open up our version of Hard Rock Cafe, which will honor, the history of black music. So, it's a lot of things you can look forward to for VIP, the relaunching of VIP and the brand.
Very good. Well, we look forward to it. And again, congratulations on being an amazing profile of life and success as we celebrate Black History Month. Thank you, Kelvin, and we will definitely talk with you again.
Thank you very much, and you stay blessed.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a way to kick off Black History Month with our very own West Coast portion of history. Coming up next, somebody else who's made a huge impact on history in the United States. He affects farm workers up and down the coast and across the country. In fact, he helped start Farm Aid. We're talking about an artist, an actor, and a rebel right here next on the Community Review.